Right, today is 19 April, I think it's a new moon day. So it's a Dharma day, special day, especially for studying Dharma. We'll look at a very interesting sutta, very simple sutta, but the way it's presented is very interesting. Samsappaniya Pariyaya Sutta. Saṁsappanīya means that which crawls, crawling. Pariyaya means something like it's a way of talking, indirect way of talking, figurative way of talking. Pariyaya. Sutta, of course, means thread or teaching. And this sutta is found in the Anguttara, the Book of Tens, Sutta number 205. The theme of this sutta is very simple. We are our karma. So it talks about karma, it talks about our actions, and talks about how we can improve ourselves as Buddhist practitioners. Just reflecting, how long this class has been going on? Anyone remembers? When did we start? What year was it? Is it 2007, 2005? I think it's about 2006. That means how many years? 9 years. Time flies. And it's the longest that we've had such a class. Continuous, no break. Okay. But even then, if you really count how many classes 1 year, at the most we can have maybe 10 or 11 classes only because of various holidays. So time with the Dhamma is very precious because we cannot assume that you always get teachers, and you cannot always assume that you get teachings. I mean, we all have heard all kinds of teachers, all kinds of teachings. We have done chanting, Then the question now we must ask ourselves is, how do I benefit from it? How have I changed? How has my life changed? So if you look at yourself 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and now, how have you changed? We all must change somehow, if not because of the Dharma, because of our age. But changing because of age is a physical thing, you get sick and your eyes get not so good and so on. So that is growing old. But when we talk about the Dharma, we talk about growing up. So I discovered something very interesting recently because I do a lot of counseling of people. Some of the people are, late 20s, 30s, some are much older. In one case, someone told me that this person is an adult, but his emotional age is about 7 years old. Can you imagine a child in a body of a man or woman? Then I thought about it. I said, it's actually nothing strange, because what does it mean to have a 7-year-old emotion? The emotion of a 7-year-old child. What does it mean? That means we're still not emotionally developed yet. When are we not emotionally developed? When we get angry. When people are angry, they're childish, don't they? We don't realize that when we're angry, we're childish, right? The way we act, the things we do, the things we say, we normally would not say. And then later, when we are back to normal, we are quite shy. When we think about it, we don't want people to remind us, right? Because it's childish. Only children do that. For example, in the train, it's very crowded, everybody knows crowded, people don't complain, but this child will scream, right? And then we get jealous, we have all kinds of negative emotions. So in other words, when we do something bad, we are still a child, so to speak. We have not really grown up. Okay? So this can happen to anyone, any age. So in that sense, Buddhism is about growing up. Okay? So how do we grow up? We need to practice the 5 precepts. But the 5 precepts is a summary of 10 things. These are the 10 important details that the 5 precepts are about. You might notice in the 5 precepts, only you have the first part, 1, 2, 3 are the same, right? Not to kill, not to steal, not to commit sexual misconduct, same. Avoiding those 3 actions of body. Why do we avoid such actions of the body? Because it will mess our body up, affects our health and so on. If you read the Sigalovada Sutta, the Buddha gives you details why we should keep our body pure in that sense. So purity of the body is not a ritual, it's your action, your karma. Karma means action, yeah? Then the fourth precept is only one, right? About is lying is the first one. But here, this is called the 10 causes of 10 causes of karma. These are the bad karma, wrong ones which we have to avoid. So number 4, actually, although we recite Musavada, Viramani, Sikapadang, Samadhiyami, we must understand it covers 4 kinds of wrong speeches which are to be avoided. And there's number 1 is of course lying, that means telling something which is not true and which affects people badly. Number 2 is slander, and that means breaking up friendships, things like that. Number 3, or number 6 here, but the third of the wrong speeches is harsh words which hurt people. And then frivolous talk, useless talk that does not help us to become a better person, to grow towards awakening. So those are the 4 speeches to be avoided. Now, the 5th precept is about we said we should not take drinks or any kinds of drugs that will intoxicate us, make us addictive and so on. You can say that last precept has to do with the mind, right? So it's like you can take the last precepts representing the last 3. Covetousness. So the last 3 are mental karma. Covetousness, to covet, means to desire things that people have. In other words, you're not happy inside. You like to compare people, fashion, things like that, right? So then you won't be happy that way. That's called covetousness. Then ill will is opposite. Ill will means you get angry, upset because of something you don't like, right? And the last one is the key one. Wrong view. Right? That was the tricky one. Okay, that's why it's put last. So, although we keep the 5 precepts, remember these are the 10 aspects we must remember. The 5 precepts are the very basic things that if you practice, you at least can call yourself a human being. You might say the 5 precepts, you keep them well, they are the hallmark, they are the definition of being a human being. If we don't keep the 5 precepts, then we fall below the human state. We become like animals. Animals, they hurt each other, they eat each other. Then we become like asuras, like exploiting other people. We become like pretas, or very addictive, who are never satisfied with anything. And then we have these hell beings, so always violent, right? So that's called the subhuman states. So this is a very quick summary of the precepts and in terms of the 10 wrong causes of action. So in this sutta, the Buddha talks a bit more details. We have a better idea. What are the 10 actions that we avoided? What are the 10 actions that's to be followed? Okay, so this is a reminder of our practice. And also we'll try to see how we can really be happy through understanding the nature of karma. There are 2 ways of understanding karma. The traditional way is that you do good, you get good. Now, this is a surprise I have for you. That is not the original Buddhist teaching actually. It came from a curse by some rishi are this holy man, they are living on the seashore. The story goes in the Sangyutta, and the devas and asuras are fighting each other. So these rishis, these seers or holy men, they told the asuras, please don't touch our place here, don't fight here. Well, every time they fight, everything gets destroyed. But the asura king said, no, we can't leave you alone because you support the gods. So these rishis got so worried, he recited a kind of curse. He said, just as we sow, so we shall reap. Whatever bad we do, bad will come to you. So because you refuse to not to harm us, despite the fact that we appeal to you, may you bear the fruit of your action. Okay, so it's actually a curse. So this is a traditional way of talking about karma. This is, in modern philosophy, this is called a consequentialist view or approach. Consequence. Yeah? In other words, if I do good, I expect some good. Say I donate something, I'll be a rich person next life. So this like investment. You put $10 in the vision box, expect maybe it's like a $1 million lottery, okay, something like that. So this is not a very good way of thinking of karma. Okay? It's quite selfish, in fact. There's a better way. Okay, so and this is represented by the word called kusala. Kusala means skillful. So the Buddha wants us to be skillful. Skillful way of understanding karma is called virtue ethics. Virtue, that means, why do we want to practice good karma? It makes us good. It makes us good people. Why do we want to be good? Because we become happy. That's better than wanting this, wanting that. Of course, if you're happy, you'll be able to enjoy the good things in life, you see. So in other words, the consequentialist approach is not so important. The more important one for Buddhists to understand is the virtue ethics. We practice good karma so that we are good, we become good. Why do we want to become good? We can't answer that question. That means you have reached a level, very high level. This is called intrinsic value. Intrinsic value means it's so good you can't really say why. Like happiness, why do you want to be happy? It's good in itself, right? Other kind of happiness can be said to be instrumental. For example, why do we have to study hard? We study hard so that we can pass exams, so that we can get a good job. So this is all instrumental. One thing leads to another. Why do you want to get a good job? You get enough money to buy food, clothing, and so on and so forth. Why do you want to have all these things? So that we are happy. Why do you want to be happy? Cannot answer already. I mean, you can talk about it, but you just want to be happy. You don't know what to say after that because it's good in itself. When we say it's good in itself, it has intrinsic value. It is good in itself because happiness is good in itself. That's one way of putting it. Right? So you've got instrumental value, intrinsic value. So we practice good karma so that we become happy. Right? So with that understanding, let's look at the sutta. Okay, page 126. The verse 1 says, Bhikshus, I will show you a discourse on the figure of crawling. This is a better translation. Listen, Bhikshus, pay close attention, I will speak. Yes, Bhante, the monks replied to the Blessed One. The Blessed One said this. Okay, here the Buddha gives us a summary of karma. What does karma mean? Bhikshus, beings are the owners of their karma, or karma means deeds. If you see square brackets, it means you can use the second translation, either karma or their deeds. The heirs to karma. Heirs means what? Heir, that means it comes back to you. Okay? After we pass away, it follows us. The womb of karma. See, we are born from a womb. So this karma is what shapes us, influences our birth. The relatives of karma. We are connected through karma. We are all related to each other through our karma. The fact we are sitting here together peacefully, studying the Dharma, we are such wonderful friends. You might even say right now we are closer than family, so to speak. We are a spiritual family, right? So karma has brought us together in this very wonderful moment. Karma is their refuge, or is our refuge, right? Nothing will protect us except our karma. You notice sometimes strange thing happens to people. You have this big bus, and there's a big accident, and everyone is killed, only one person somehow didn't die. And you have stories about this person flying in the airplane, and last minute something happened, he was late or what, and missed the plane. His life was safe, right? Things like that. Okay? So, karma is our refuge. We cannot take refuge anywhere else. The Dhammapada says, you can run into the mountains, hide in the trees, in the jungle, underground, in the sky, wherever you go. There's no way to hide from good deeds and bad deeds, the effect of karma, because karma itself is our refuge. If you do good deeds, that's your refuge. These good deeds will protect you. If you do bad deeds, sooner or later it will come back and hurt you. Whatever karma they do, whatever karma we do, good or bad, they will be its heirs, or they will be our heirs. will be the heir. In other words, we will come back to us. The last line, the first line, second line, very close. The word heir is there. Okay. Any question on this definition? So when we pass away, we cannot take anything with us. The only thing we can take is karma. So all those offerings to the dead don't really help them, right? At the same time, we must remember, the Mangala Sutta says, Pubbecha kata punyata, having done good deeds in the past. It's a great blessing, right? In other words, the fact that we can sit here peacefully, listen to the Dharma, we can understand the Dharma, we have done lots of good deeds to be able to be here. Many people want to be here, but they can't be. Or maybe they hear the Dharma, but they keep forgetting it. So, another important thing to remember is, don't worry about the past, right? Some people may say, oh dear, I've not done anything good in the past. It doesn't matter. Right now is what's important. Right now, even as you sit here, every moment you stay on here, you're doing wonderful good karma. You're not killing, you're not stealing. You're practicing all the 10 causes of good action. And this is a wonderful moment. Because if you keep on building this, the karma is so good, you feel very peaceful. One day you really understand what this means. Because what mental peace, mental stillness is something not easy to get. So if you one day you want to meditate, you want to remember some peaceful moments, this is one of those wonderful moments you can recall. You sit peacefully here, you are at peace with yourself. So remember this, remember in that way. Don't worry about things you don't understand. Don't worry about how long this study is, how short it is, but remember how peaceful you feel when you're here. Maybe you might not understand fully what is taught in this text. That's quite common because this is suttas can be very deep. Okay? But right now you feel the peace, remember that. Okay? So this is the reflection on your moral virtue. Right? And then there are two parts of the sutta. You can see the big subheading, the unwholesome karmic cause. And then there are 10 of them, and you turn to page 132, there's a closing part, positive one, the wholesome karmic cause. Okay? This is how you have an idea, a map of the sutta, the two parts. So here we kind of recall to mind how to practice the 5 precepts properly. But look at the start here. The Buddha says something different this time. Look at 3.1. Here, bhikshus, someone kills living beings. Okay, this is the first thing to avoid. And then there's an addition there, okay? Cruel, bloody-handed, given to violence and killing, merciless to all living beings. So this is the fuller definition of breaking the first precept, right? People, they're cruel, okay? Hurting other people. In other words, killing is one thing, but making people suffer pain also is included here. And then what's the Buddha says? Someone who likes to do this. Look at the refrain. Refrain is a series of lines which are repeated. He crawls with his body. He crawls with his speech. He crawls with his mind. Okay, you got to imagine this. How do you crawl with body, speech, and mind? Here, the crawling means when you are burdened with karma, bad karma, because of killing. So you don't really walk. You appear to walk, but the reality is you're crawling because of bad karma. Okay? So that's the meaning here. Samsappaniya. Okay? His bodily action is crooked. His verbal action is crooked. His mental action is crooked. His destiny is crooked. His rebirth is crooked. Right? So this is the second word, jimha, crooked. Right? Wrong way. No, the Dharma, the Eightfold Path is a straight way, right? But it's the crooked way. Now this reminds me, when we were in school, primary school, there was this nursery rhyme. Remember, there was a crooked man who lived in a crooked house. He was crooked. I thought it was a very funny poem. No? So now there's a deeper meaning to that poem. The Samvipaka karma, as it were. So here the Buddha is reminding us, you're not born this way, but it's the action that you do that makes you straight or crooked. 3.4. Furthermore, bhikshus, for those whose destiny is crooked, that means a bad rebirth, I say there is either of two destinies, that is utter suffering in hell or in an animal womb as one that crawls. Right. Crawls here is just a general word for animals. In a sense, all animals crawl. Even monkeys. We see monkeys climbing trees, but they also crawl. So crawling here refers to life as an animal. But this is very interesting because the sutta only mentioned two kinds of rebirth, either hell or animal world. Why are these two mentioned? Apparently, from my understanding in other suttas, let's say if you keep on breaking the precept, like you keep on killing, then you'll be reborn in an animal world. You'll be reborn in an animal world. Okay? But if you encourage other people to kill also, or they follow your example, then you'll be reborn in a hell state. Okay, something like that. Remember, the Buddha doesn't send you there, Even King Yama doesn't do that. You notice the story of King Yama, very interesting story, in the suttas. He doesn't send anybody to hell, He sits there, the story goes, and all these people, every day, come to see him. I think there's no night in hell, So these still people are endless, I don't know if King Yama have rest or not. So whenever these people come, the hell beings, King Yama will ask, have you not seen in the world a baby born in the world? Have you not seen an old man, a sick man, and then a criminal being punished, a dead man? And this man said, yeah, I've seen them. And I said, have you not thought about it, that you also will suffer all these things? I mean, a baby means you'll be reborn. If you're reborn, you're going to suffer. And if you do bad things, you'll be caught and punished. And then this man said, no, I didn't, because I was heedless. Apparently, all those people who go to hell say these things, So imagine King Yama hearing this. I was trying to imagine. King Yama is one person. You know how many people die every day and then they go to hell? So poor King Yama has to listen millions of times. So imagine. In the end, the story goes, in the sutta, it says, King Yama thought about it, said, these people, they are really so foolish. So one day he said, how I wish I'll be reborn in the Buddha's time, so that I will listen to his teaching and become awakened. So King Yama resigned his job. He gave up. He said, this is too much. I don't like this job. Because his job is to remind, to tell these people, why do you do these things? Why must you come before me? You did not have come before me. So notice, even in Buddhism, very positive. Buddhism says, doesn't say you are thrown to hell by the Buddha. No. Here it says, why do you need to suffer? You don't need to suffer. So King Yama is that reminder, you see. So, and King Yama also, it's just a role. So another new, it's like a deva takes over. So there you are, see. King Yama is to remind us not to break all these precepts so that we don't fall into the suffering state. Now, whether you believe hell as an actual place you go to or not, doesn't matter. In fact, in the Buddha's time, they have this very strange belief that hell is below Rajagaha. In Singapore, we'll say hell is somewhere in the city, deep down inside, underground. But we've got lots of tunnels and underground, we don't see any hell. Hopefully not, anyway. So, it can't be there, see. You know why they say hell is underground below Rajagaha? There are some volcanic hot water there, and then the hot water flows into the lake, see? So they say, there must be hell down there because it's so hot. They all this imaginative idea. Hell is not a place. Yes?
You could be in hell at this very night. You can suffer also. You see some people, it's just like hell.
True.
You look at them, they're suffering.
Yes.
No food to eat, eaten, ill-treated.
Of course,
It's all in the mind, I think.
Yeah.
There's no place in hell. It's with us. It's in the mind.
We are just coming to that, okay? So, it's not a place, right? In another sutta, the Buddha says that very clearly, it's called the Patala Sutta. The Buddha said there are people who say, in the middle of the ocean, there is a bottomless chasm, a deep hole there, like no bottom. And that's hell. But the Buddha says that's a wrong way of talking. It's just a name, it's just a word for hell. So what hell really is the pain you're suffering. Very interesting, huh? And then elsewhere in one more sutta, the Buddha says that if you do all this bad stuff, then you will. I think this is in the Mahasihanada Sutta, where there was this monk. He didn't like the Buddha, then he resigned as a monk, and then he went around talking bad about the Buddha. He said, "Oh, the Buddha actually know nothing, got no power. He's really just think out some ideas and start teaching it." Okay? So the Buddha says, "Okay, these are the things. These are my credentials, and if anybody talk bad, then it is as if they are being dragged to hell and they suffer pain because they're talking something not true." Notice the Buddha didn't say you will go to hell because you talk bad about me. He says you will suffer pain as if you are being dragged to hell, as if. You know? So in other words, what we are saying here is that if someone asks you, "Is hell a place? Are you really dragged there?" You see those Chinese story, the long tongue guy and the long head guy, you know, coming. It's a Chinese story. Like Americans don't see it, you know. So Australians don't see it. So how do you answer that question? We said, no, it's not a place. Because if it's a place, you have a lot of problems, you know, right? So it is a state of mind. You have much better answer. It is a state of mind. And wherever you are, hell can come to you. Okay? If you're not happy, you're violent, you're fighting each other, killing each other, all this mass killing, that's hell. Yes, it's right here on earth right now. Any place, no particular place, but can be anywhere where people kill each other, right, and bomb each other. That's hell. Violence, you know. The lifespan can be short, you know, on earth. You know? So it is a state of mind. It is a state of mind. All right. So there you are. All right. So this person who does bad karma, he will be born in the animal world. People who do a lot of good things but don't keep the precepts, they are reborn in the animal world, but they are well treated. Remember that sutta? Yeah, they are very well treated. All the nice pets in Singapore. Yeah, all those. There are lots of pet shops. They are prospering. You know, I must introduce the sutta to them. You know. Okay. Then next section 3.5. And what bhikshu is the animal womb? As one that crawls. Notice that your animal, ones that crawls. Here the Buddha defines snakes, scorpions, centipedes, mongooses, cats, rats, owls, or whatever being born of the animal womb that crawls away on seeing humans. Such indeed it is, because a being's rebirth is due to the being. Oh, this is very interesting line, you know. Note 37. Itiko bhikkhave bhuta bhutassa upapati hoti. It's a bit of play on words here. Because the word upapata means arising, and then bhuta is being. Okay? So notice, a being's rebirth is due to the being. There are two meanings here. One is you create this karma yourself. No one can do it for you. Even if people curse you also, it won't work. Say, no, thank you. And the Buddha said, if you give me a gift and I don't take it, whose is it? It belongs to you. So people can say anything bad to you. Say, don't worry. May you be well and happy. Right? And you find suddenly this person have no more energy to be angry. Feel so stupid. The more angry you get, the more this other person enjoy. This is a stuff of soap opera. Alright? So people hurt each other and so on. Okay? So don't worry if people talk bad about you. You don't answer back, you have not received it. Say no thank you, you can keep it. Alright? Number two, the second meaning, a being's rebirth is due to being. That means you have done something and then this result will come back later on. Okay? Or it could have come from the past. It comes from the past. So in that sense, we need patience. Okay? We say, we've been trying so hard, and somehow things don't work right. That means something in the past has been coming to hurt us. So be patient and it will pass sooner or later. As he acts, so he is reborn. When reborn, sense contacts touch him. So I say beings are heirs to karma. Notice this is a beautiful definition of karma. No? The way we act will be the way we are reborn. Okay? I've been telling you this many times before, so this is a good time to revise. No? Like I said, imagine someone has been a killer, robber, rapist, and it only comes out in the night. He's so used to that kind of life, secret life. He doesn't like to talk to good people. In other words, he's a predator. So imagine when this person passes away, what sort of memory does he have? He only remembers all this past karma that he has done. Right? I mean, if you ask yourself, what is the most regular action you'll do? What in your life, in 1 week, what are the things that you like to do? Examine that, and make sure that the things that you do give you peace. If you're doing your work, be peaceful. Oh, this is where Rana and I were very lucky, because if you ask us what is our regular stuff, we say we always, most of the time we are with the suttas, translating this. And even the emails we write also, people asking about suttas, about meditation. That's our habitual karma. Of course, many of you work, but if you work in a peaceful way, you make people feel peaceful, happy, you're friendly to people, that is your action. Then when the last moment comes, these memories come back. These good memories come back. Okay? So even though occasionally bad things do happen, it's the good actions that are regular, and they will come back. And then you will remember them, and this is your energy, it will push you to a good rebirth. Or you might even attain stream winning in this life if you reflect on impermanence. So regularly reflect on impermanence. That's another safe way to keep your practice up. Okay? So that's the meaning here. As he acts, so he is reborn. Alright? Any question on this first part? This is the key first part we must know. And then this template repeats itself for all the other 9 actions. Got it? Alright, next one. 4. Furthermore, here someone takes the not given. Okay, this is the precept we are familiar with. Then there are details. In a village or in a forest, he takes by way of theft the possession of others that are of service to them. There you are. Why stealing is wrong? Because these things that people steal from others is useful to them. They support themselves. They live by those things. So we take it away, we're taking away their lives, so to speak. Then that is wrong. It can be anywhere, right? Not just in the city, it can be in the forest also. So, and then the Buddha repeats everything. He says he crawls with his body, crawls with his speech, crawls with the mind. The body, speech, and mind all crooked, and so everything's repeated. In other words, the karma will come back. This is your karma, the action you're doing. If you keep taking the not given, then you'll be reborn in an unhappy state, in an animal state. If you encourage others also to steal, then you'll be reborn in a suffering, painful state. Next one, 4.2. Someone commits sexual misconduct, and then it's defined here. Falling into such a conduct with those protected by their mother, protected by their father, protected by their parents, protected by their brother, protected by their sister, protected by a relative, protected by the clan, protected by dharma or by the law, ward of state in other words. One with a husband, one protected by the law. Okay, the first one is tradition, the second one is a law. Even with one adorned with a string of garlands in betrothal to another. This is engaged already, right? So here in other words, who are these people who are protected? They are minors, the children too young, and those who are not ready for marriage, or those who are already married. Okay? So these are the people we should respect, have no relationship with. If we violate them, especially when they say no, okay, then the precept is broken, then we have become the crooked man. Okay? Then we are crawling. Reborn in the animal world. Even in this life itself also, we are crawling. And then 4.3, someone speaks falsehood. When questioned as a witness before a council, before a congregation, in the midst of relatives, in the midst of a guild or company, in the midst of the royal court or in the court of law. And when questioned thus, "Come now, man, tell us what you know." Not knowing, he says he knows. Or knowing, he says he knows not. Having not seen, he says he saw. Or having seen, he says he did not see. Consciously lying for his own sake, or for the sake of others, or for some small material gain. Right, there you are. This is a definition of lying. So this is interesting, In other words, in a court of law, so no lying. Otherwise, karma will come. Okay? Crawling karma, crooked karma. Right? Okay, number 5. One who slanders. What is meaning of slander? Someone speaks divisive words, words that break people up, break couples up. All right? What he has heard here from others, he repeats it to others to divide them. Sometimes we can say nice things, when people quarrel, right? So it doesn't mean you talk nice things, it's all right. Depends what is the purpose. What he has heard there, he repeats here to divide them. Thus he divides the united. Who encourages the divided to remain so, in other words, rejoices in division. Being pleased at discord, he's very happy when people are quarreling. Enjoying discord, delighting in discord, saying words conducive to discord. Right, so this is wrong. People would like to break up others. Okay, you notice people are like that; they're not really happy. So this is slander. Okay? But if you tell the truth, and people separate because of that, it's different. You don't have intent here to do that, right? But here we're talking about you purposely say something to break people up. Then that's bad karma. All this is a crooked action. It will bring you rebirth in the animal world, and if you teach others, others follow you, you'll be reborn in a suffering state. And it's called crooked karma, crawling karma. Number 6, harsh words. Someone speaks harsh words. He utters words that are rough, hard, hurting to others, offensive to others, connected with anger. Notice there's a key word there, anger. Inconducive to mental concentration. This is a very important line. This kind of words does not help us to meditate. He utters words such as these, right? So that is why you notice especially in meditation, you got to talk in a different way. You got to talk in a peaceful way, so people hear, they feel very nice, very peaceful. Very often in the meditation class, people say 2 things in meditation class. Number 1, they will say, "Oh, I feel so peaceful." Just to hear the teacher's voice, I feel very good. I feel calm. And another will say, "Oh, I feel so good, I fall asleep." So 2 benefits. You can't sleep, you come to the Dharma, can easily cure your sleeplessness. Anyone can't sleep, you come and see us, okay? Sleep happily. Sorry? No, they can sleep listening. They can still hear. The interesting thing is, they will get up at the end of the meditation. Very interesting. They somehow seem to know. No, really, I'm not joking here. I mean, even if you sleep during meditation, it is still all right because you're tired and your body is telling you it needs rest. People often don't rest when they're tired. But when you're meditating, you will naturally feel like resting. So it's a natural way of respecting your body. Okay? Okay, next one. One who chatters frivolously. This is the last of the... No, is it last? Yeah, the last of the 4 wrong speeches. Someone chatters frivolously or utters useless talk. At the wrong time, he speaks what is false, what is unbeneficial, what is not the teaching, not the Dharma, what is not the discipline of Vinaya. At the wrong time, he speaks words not worth treasuring, not worth remembering, baseless, unfounded, undefined, rambling. You don't know where it's going. Not connected with the goal of spiritual liberation. The goal, atta, also can mean usefulness, benefit. So there you are. Useless talk, in other words, right? But sometimes you talk with babies, it's not useless talk, okay? Because babies don't understand anything, we use sounds, that's different. Here we're talking about as adults, okay? Sometimes people are very sad, you just say simple things to make them happy, that's okay. It's still not useless talk because the benefit is there, right? Here is when we can gather together and talk good things instead we start talking about useless things. That's not very helpful. Let's say if you come to a temple, this is a wonderful chance. Once a week we meet here to create good karma. You should talk about Dharma, right? If you talk about going to Gentings or going gambling or womanizing or girlfriend, boyfriend, and I don't know, worldly stuff, it's not going to be helpful. And this is a place dedicated to the Dharma. It's meant to be the most sacred place in your life in Singapore. So you got to treat this place as sacred, right? So that's the meaning here. Don't speak frivolous words in that sense, yeah? So we finished the long speeches, yeah? Okay, now, the next one, last three. One who is covetous. What's the meaning here? Someone is covetous. He covets, desires, the possessions of others that are of service to them. Thinking, oh, may what belongs to others become mine. Right? So they see other people, people's things, they want it. So if they go on thinking like that, then they are going to have crawling karma. You'll be reborn in the animal world. If others follow the example, they make others do it, then you'll be reborn in a suffering state. And you'll be a crooked rebirth, very bad rebirth. Ill will. Okay, this karma number 9. Someone has a malevolent mind, or we say bad heart, right? A mind of wicked thoughts, thinking, may these beings be killed or slaughtered, or wiped out, or destroyed, or not exist. Be careful, we should never say that, right? Even when we are angry, we don't say that, okay? So, if we habitually do this, then crawling karma is waiting for us, alright? And then we come to the last one, number 10. One with wrong view. Someone holds wrong view with a distorted vision, thinking there is nothing given, nothing offered, nothing sacrificed. Right? No point being generous. Okay? Right? So I mean, it's very selfish. It won't be very helpful in society, would it? But the Buddha says, no giving is without fruit. Any kind of gift, with a kind heart especially, the benefit is there. There is no fruit of or result of good or bad actions. Some people have this wrong idea. They say, oh, no such thing as good or bad. It's all how you think. Okay? Another person says, there's no this world, there's no next world. In other words, this only life, a kind of materialistic idea. So, enjoy life, because there's nothing more to come. There is no mother, no father. Okay? This is terrible, right? No mother, no father, how are we born, right? So to denounce parentage. This is important because this is what makes humans human. There's no spontaneously born beings. Okay, this one is talking about rebirth. Okay, now this one's a bit tricky because there are some Buddhists today, intellectual Buddhists, they actually somehow don't believe in rebirth. And not to say they reject rebirth altogether. These people, they are good-hearted people. What they're saying is that they cannot prove that rebirth exists, so they are agnostic. In other words, they don't know how true it is, right? So they keep an open mind. There's a very interesting debate between these two people. One who doesn't believe in rebirth, that is Stephen Batchelor, very famous Buddhist, whom I respect, and Ajahn Brahmali, who is a stalwart Theravadan monk, whom I also respect. So it's very interesting to see these two people debating over this rebirth, because Batchelor says he doesn't believe in rebirth, and Ajahn Brahmali says, oh, you cannot reject rebirth. So this is online. You can, look it up and listen to this very interesting debate. You can see it's a very peaceful talk, and there's a lot to learn from that. So, in a sense, Buddhism is quite generous, quite open. Although people may say, they don't believe this. They're saying that I want to hold on with this idea first. Right? There are no recluses of Brahmin who, living rightly and practicing rightly, having directly known and realized for themselves this world and the hereafter, proclaim them. Right. This last one means there are no good people in the world. Wrong view. No point being religious. So this is the wrong idea. Okay. Politicians often have this view. So these are the 10 wrong actions. Any questions? Clear enough, Now come the happy part, okay? So all the bad stuff are redefined to proper practice. Look at the new section, brackets 1. One who refrains from killing. Here, bhikshus, someone having given up killing living beings, refrains from harming living beings. Okay, now comes a new definition. This is on page 132. Can you look at number 5.1? He lays down rod and sword. Rod and sword. Rod is a danda, the stick. In other words, he doesn't use violence. The sword doesn't kill people. Okay? Conscientious means very careful about doing things, not to hurt people. Merciful, forgiving, dwells beneficial and compassionate to all living beings. Okay, this is the positive definition of keeping the first precept. Right? And such a person does not quarrel with his body, does not quarrel with his speech, does not quarrel with his mind. In other words, he does not quarrel at all. If you keep the precepts well, you will never be reborn in the animal world. His bodily action is straight. His verbal action is straight. His mental action is straight. His destiny is straight. His rebirth is straight. There is a sutta in the Samyutta which says the road is called straight. Eightfold path. Furthermore, bhikshus, for one whose destiny is straight, I say there is either of two destinies. Great halls of house-lot families, of great halls, of great wealth, with great treasures, abundant in gold, silver, and money, wealthy with great treasures, great in goods and means, abundant in riches and grains. A happy rebirth. Okay? So indeed it is, bhikshus, a being's rebirth is due to the being. As he acts, so he is reborn. When reborn, sense contacts touch him. So I say, bhikshus, beings are heirs to karma. Right? Sense contacts touch him. Sense contact means your senses. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So that's where our karma acts on us, through our 6 senses. These are the 6 sense doors. But usually we say karma acts on us through 3 doors. Body, speech, and mind. Okay? Body, speech, and mind. These 3 are summary of the 6 senses. Now, what about not stealing, refraining from not stealing? How is it defined? Here again, bhikshus, someone having given up taking the not given, that means you have kept the precept. Now you must practice the virtue. Refrains from taking the not given in a village or in the forest, does not take by way of theft others' possession that are of service to them. Now in another sutta, I think it's called the Taduhopasata Sutta, it is said that the person is also generous, kind. Yeah? And then you go on doing this, the rebirth is good, karma is good. Next one, number 3, one who refrains from sexual misconduct. This person refrains from violating all those kinds of people which I mentioned earlier, the very young people who are still protected and so on, respecting your wife and husband also, right? Then that is good karma. Number 4, one who refrains from lying. Here again, bhikshus, someone is having given up speaking falsehood, refrains from falsehood. When questioned as a witness before a council, in court, in a meeting, in a business, he tells the truth. Okay? So if he knows, he says he knows. If he doesn't know, he says so. The last line is very interesting. Not consciously telling a lie. Notice, not consciously telling a lie. Thus, for his own sake or for the sake of others, or even for some small material gains. Yeah? So that's the first of the right speech. Next one, section 5, page 134. One who refrains from slander. Here again, bhikshu, someone having given up divisive speech refrains from divisive speech. Whether he has what you have heard here, you don't bring over there to you unify people. What you hear over there, you tell over here to unify people. Thus, he is one who unites the disunited, or who discourages the divided from remaining so, not rejoicing in division. He is pleased in concord when people are together. He's happy, enjoying concord, delighting in concord, saying words conducive to concord. Right? Now this is very interesting because you see, monks, they have a rule, monks and nuns, of course, they're not allowed to matchmake. All right. For example, let's say if a Sunday school, the monk cannot say, "Oh, handsome boy A, pretty girl B, should meet each other, pair up, get married, and we have more Buddhist children." You cannot say that. They're not allowed to break the precept. Why? Because it promotes lust. Right? On the other hand, if the monk or nun knows that couple A and B, they're going to quarrel and divorce, then the monk can intervene and say, "Hey, come, let's sit down and talk. Don't break up. What is it you want to talk about?" He can prevent breakups, but he cannot matchmake. Okay, it's a very interesting rule for the monks. Concord is very important. So this is where, if you are practicing Buddhist, you see people want to break up, intervene and try to help them to see their good side so that they are friends again. And don't, in Malay we say, don't become a batu api. That becomes, to break them up, that's worse. Okay. All right, refraining from harsh speech. Here again, bhikshu, someone having given up harsh speech, refrains from harsh speech. He utters words that are blameless, pleasant to the ear, touching the heart. Very important, touching the heart. Urbane. Urbane means talking in a proper way, civil way in a group. Loved by the masses, pleasant to the masses. So talking in a way which will not make people angry or hurt you. This is good karma. Number 7, bracket 7. Refraining from frivolous talk. Here again, bhikshu, someone having given up frivolous talk refrains from frivolous talk. He speaks at the right time, which is very important, right time. What is true? Well, before this, when is the wrong time? Now, for a monk, strictly speaking, let's say if someone is driving, if someone asks a Dharma question, the monk won't answer. He says, "You're driving, focus on your driving." Okay? Because if anything happens, then you might blame the monk. You say, like, that's the wrong time. Sometimes people are quarreling, and then you want to, you teach Dharma at that time, also people are not ready to listen. So you have to do something else. Maybe radiate loving kindness to them, or just do something right, basically. Then when they are more peaceful, more calm, more ready, then you talk Dharma to them. You find the Buddha doing that very often. Remember the story of the lady Malika. She died and was reborn in the hell, right? So for 7 days, the king asked, where is the queen reborn? The Buddha didn't say anything. The Buddha changed the subject. He doesn't want to tell him this bad news. Then on the 7th day or the 8th day, the karma is finished and she's reborn in the heavens. Then only the Buddha say, "Oh, the queen is reborn in heavenly stage." Right? So there you are. Sometimes you don't have to say something which is unhappy, in other words. Okay? Especially when the other person is not ready. Okay, then number 7. Have I read that to you? Okay, he speaks worth treasuring, well-founded, well-defined, not rambling, connected with the goal. Okay? All right, now the last 3 to do with the mind. One who does not covet. Here, bhikshu, someone does not covet, is not covetous. He covets not the possessions of others that are of service to them, thinking, "Oh, may what belongs to others become mine." He doesn't have that greed, in other words. Number 9, one who harbors no ill will. Here again, bhikshu, someone is without a malevolent mind, a mind without any thought of ill will, thinking, "May these beings be free from hate. May they be free from suffering. May they be free from war, from trouble. May they continue to be happy." Right? So remember, say this. Sometimes when we're angry, we can force ourselves to say it. Just say it, and you find it's easier when after that. Don't let the thoughts continue. Sometimes you can notice, the angry thoughts play like a tape recorder, inside your head, right? And you say, I don't say it, but the mind is saying it. Then you can counter that by actually saying something positive. That means you have conquered Mara. Oh yes, latest news, Mara is working overtime in Singapore. A lot of trouble everywhere, Buddhist centers. Monks are quarreling with monks, laymen quarreling with laymen. I think this temple is safe at the moment, right? But it's really bad stuff going on out there, I can tell you. And the leaders are very sad, a lot of things going on. So we hope the monks will resolve their problems, don't slander against each other, don't say nasty words to each other.
What's the cross?
Sorry?
What's the cross on the throne?
Oh, it's been a long thing now. Start from one thing to another. Those days about what all this ordination of nuns and things like that, and who's practicing rightly, who's practicing wrongly, and then you have another group talking about all these monks must, arahats must still get enlightened, become Buddhas, wrong views or things like that. So it can be very confusing nowadays if you go to temple. I know a group of people who just give up going to temple, listening to Dhamma talk. They say all these people talk very strange things, doesn't help them at all. So they study the suttas themselves, and they're very happy doing that. I have people living in different parts of the world. They're very serious Buddhists. They want to be happy, and they read the suttas. So hopefully, all these people who are monks and nuns, especially who are Dhamma teachers, will remember why we are Buddhists, why we wear the robes, and come back to the true Dhamma, forget all these things, get caught up with money. Yeah, the other thing is money. Two words are money and women. Money and women, yeah, that's the problem right now. So, I've given up being sad, okay? Rather, I tell myself, what can I do now? Okay, so I try to write something to reflect on it, and then hopefully people will think about it and do the right thing. Learn to look at goodness in themselves, goodness in others, and it's very silly for our leaders and our monks to fight. So, the last one, right view, 6.9. Here again, Bhikshu, someone has right view without distorted vision, thinking there is what is given, what is offered, what is sacrificed. There are fruit and results of good and bad actions. There is this world, there is the next world. There is mother, there is father. There are beings that are reborn. Now notice here, this line, there are beings that are reborn. Okay? The previous one says there are no spontaneously born beings, right? So notice this, very interesting comparison. In other words, karma and rebirth are very important Buddhist teachings. There are recluses and Brahmins who, living rightly, practicing rightly, having directly known and realized for themselves this world and the hereafter, proclaim them. In other words, there are good people everywhere. There are good people, and it's just that we don't see them, but they are there. Even in other religions, right? Of course, they are very different from the people in their religion. They are not fanatical. They are not violent, and so on. And these are the kind of people we can easily talk with. We feel very peaceful when we talk to them. So these are the people, they do not crawl, they do not have crooked karma, they are reborn happy. And then the sutta closes with a verse on karma again. We, now notice now, the closing is, the word we is used. We are the owners of our karma, our deeds. The heirs to karma, the womb of karma, the relatives of karma. Karma is our refuge. Whatever karma we do, good or bad, will be its heir. Okay? And the sutta ends there. Close with a reflection. Right, today we have looked at another very helpful sutta to remind us of our practice, how to benefit from this wonderful good karma we have that has given us this human life, this human body, and this reasonably peaceful place and peaceful life, so that we have a minimum trouble, unlike many other people who are suffering so greatly. We can choose to read the suttas whenever we want, We can gather together to study the Dhamma whenever we want. These are great blessings we must not take for granted. Even though we may not remember everything we learn every time, we should at least recollect a bit of it here and there, occasionally by looking at the suttas, and not getting lost in the way the world talks about other things which are not related to the Dhamma, but things which bring us inner peace and wisdom. So in that way we respect the Dhamma, and the Dhamma will respect us. Reflecting in this way is very good mental karma. By such good karma and many other good karma we have been doing, practicing generosity, keeping the precepts, practicing meditation, learning the Dhamma, and volunteering ourselves with Buddhist work and other good works, and so on. By the power of such good karma, may we attain peace of mind, prosperity in this life itself. By this very same good karma and many more, may we aspire to attain spiritual liberation, at least stream winning, in this life itself. In this moment of peace, let us send out our loving kindness to all those beings who are assembled here, to all our loved ones, to all the people who have come here to help this place, to study the Dhamma, to look for peace. May this place be protected from harm and danger. May we also send out our loving kindness to all those whom the Dhamma have not touched, that they may see the Dhamma for themselves and be at peace. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.